Yo, your baby. So they make no Sikasem program no and your day bro no High Life Radio and I would no your boy Patrick Berfie. And there you can't in the send economy no AC call any home keka home. Amanyamamu aye din bebre, especially a dine tall nessa niamano. And there you focus so a dine home. Kese. A dear echo so ye dine to manase near tititi. Ye will expect to hanma or ye reta or war experience pa I will be timini a cheche ni mam sini city. Nti ye de reba so na fe ye ne no akasa na wa cheche ni mamu bebre se ni esiko. Na se ni de bia ye sie no before se be start no. Men can be kakra emfa inspire. And maybe be kakra be kan thinking. Thinking. We say thinking anything. See if you my thinking as I thinking is the process of using one's mind to consider or reason about something. Say you su ya dream and ya maybe home. And if you my thinking bibia and everything thinking. If you crowd body and you so fiti no boy, it means or dream once. Intino we live in a thought world and the world is a part of a thought world. Yet a dream we say and our dream also we say. It will be a biano thinking. If you more nipa bebre a omadi ye wo niam a omuyima na so my successful niam omuyima omudwen pa if you more is almost 95% of the population and dream will be say and dream saying Timiso no pa de me ye den and brain activity ye dream say and say thinking say obetena what say the usua de no why pa ye hwe mo inventing yama bebre na omtena ho hye dat na ho say aso musua de no ma dream ankasa pa no ma hodu onto sa dream no o ma sumu sa no ma take action ho na say o ma tumpon ho no ma ya say ba be ye bibi te say de me no kasa wo su ya na say kai etena mafidi a use ne cell phone sa ne mani na no e de dream in a mix. I dream and as a thinking a bibia intimate free hoda. We shall nipa bibria kesi nipa kesi for mo hihia ana so mo ba wiase abetwam ko mo be ye de so mo ye ni nia no we hwema nipa bibria o mo nhia wo niam bibria ho ba de ba ko ana o mo hia wo mo obia eye one e wo ho ye o mo say we become what we think about seni esi dwen no sa na e be ye seni esi dwen no sa na ye I dream thinking is bibia big mind na your mind and a dream ade ba kwa nyankopon the mind will be say dangerous at the same time so very powerful dream your mind because your mind no nyame the mind so itimi sa de choose against it and so the mind it's very powerful ade a separate yen free to say more ana bibisa no the mind no so na your dream and saying ye tiasem and more tiasem ihu ade and more hu ade ye home mo home ye tachi almost tachi ade ba ko muntimi ye adwendwen anas omuni mind no it is all hwe mre bi atwam no Jesus can was say as a man thinketh in his heart so you see send you see dream if you money pack a clear bi to say mu 95 de adwendwen pa de adwendwen na me can be me say because I dey endwen na me sorry anema me ye no a brain activity na say wo dream pa de what was na de any adwendwen no imu bebre nye enti so hwema ye de ko yesikasem mu so yesikasem nko ye wo se yetimi change ne started dream positively and as ye dream bibi papa no de bia no ye dream bibi bone na de obedwen no eno aso na wunya enti adwendwen and as thinking bibi e very powerful ni say it is how because any na nam wiase e kwai maybe atwam Henry Ford the founder of Ford Motors or can be or say thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. And in part, 95% of the population of the world. You see and drink, you move be and drink. Na yampa so hwɛ nipa kakraa bi na inventing yama bebree inventing yama because omo drink no ma hold on to bibi. It's the same thing. So sika sem nko yie bibi bia wo ye school sem bibi bia wo nyina na was started drink se kwan be na me fa so a me yes ade we na wa hold on to sa ade no sa hold on to na the more wo drink ho no wo say eba nye se wo drink ho keke na wo tu ho so anam ti adwendwen e bibi bia eni se ye ma ne kokwa na kind of say thought becomes things ade a wobɛdwen no na wo hold idea no ene ma ye di hu nyina yo edwan do besi wa ha thinking no na yenko ye program so ye wo yenua e wa ha no ma ye de bebem no obeboa yen ama yetimi ahwehwe ye mpensimu akode ekoso ya na se yetimi go over the ekoso yehwe mu a say the state of the economy, the state of the housing market. And I say, if you say your friends and trends about the housing market, no, send any money sequel, no, send ye BCI, no. And see, me doing your baby no, me man introduction that fee, ya go from there. Bro, wait there. We na I was say send any money sequel, no, you hear expect no boy. If it's a questions I hear near the piano, I know a thing. And you more a ding. If any must send any mercy corner, and yet, see, crass a would drink home. Nancy, I say, if you cry, no, with me, Biana. Before see a become Biana, see a best at Bibia, memoir, why introduction, Kakrana fee, a free hand. It's you know, with the Nijama.
That's it. Good evening. That's say, one man who can say, and then you mean to Emra, Yamadwin. Yasitre mu fie ne baabi a ɛtena tiefoɔ nyinaa so yɛka ne sɛ yɛdam ase yɛmehyia mo sɛ anwummere moayɛ so de ma yɛde tie ɛfiri sɛ mo ne hɔnom a radio yi ni hɔnom ɛna sɛ mo ama metie nso a na kyɛ sɛ anwummere nso there will not be discussion ɛti yɛdam ase sɛ anwummere wagya mu biribiara na moba bɛtie yɛn na afei so yɛabɛdwendwen the state of the housing situation and how best we'll be able to maneuver things going forward. Now, me have it. My full name is Alex Adomako Champon. As rightly Nana said, now me the real estate agent. Me Maryland and Virginia. My license in both states. In both residential and commercial. So I do both. And as part of my real estate, I'm also well informed in terms of in mortgages. Many lender direct, but I have knowledge of steady mortgages, loans, so that any individual here, I'll be able to assist them to select the right product and also all the fees that are associated now. I'll be able to tell you which is good, which is wrong, and so on and so forth. So I'm not just a real estate agent, but I can also advise in terms of loans, and I have my own lenders and companies I'm affiliated with. We also help give loans if you want to buy a home or refinance for that reason. So we have it all together. Me as an agent and also my whole company I work with, which is Samson Property. That's a big company. We have our own mortgage companies, affiliated businesses that will help. So just me, myself personally. So like I said earlier, within the Alex Adomako Champon, and I've been in real estate. This is my 6th year now, practicing full-time between Maryland and Virginia. And I'm also in real estate now. I'm recognized as a top producer. That means we have categories of agents who perform in every year in the sphere of their area of practice. And part of Prince William Real Estate Company, and that's the Prince William Association of Realtors, and Misawa National Association of Real Estate Agent, which is United States. And so in the top tier now. I'm among the top producing 20% agent year by year in the past 5 years. And so that is my background and what I bring to the table. In addition to being a realtor, my personal education background, when I was back in Africa, to be precise, Ghana now, I attended some secondary technical where I studied building and construction. So today, to be a realtor in the United States, I'm not just a realtor, but I have the background to be called high school. As those of us who are from Ghana and I say in Africa, when you go to high school, you start your major right away from high school. So from high school, I did building and construction, and that is where I started building my career from. So I'm not just a real estate agent, but I'm also somebody who attended secondary technical to learn how to build. And that is myself and what I do and what I bring to the table. Nana.
Amen to that. Yo, any Alex, that's it. So be kind sa na ene impressive background. I also be boy ama yetimi di ehu di ekoso. Said the American no for ohwe sisi send nneɛma si kɔ ɛwɔ kurom ha nneɛma ayɛ abɔden bebree na nso nneɛma yɛ boyɛ den a na baabi edi eti tu no so no ka no na sɛ woyɛ obi a wodwendwen sɛ ka na ɛnyɛ wo nko a nipa bebree dwendwen saa yɛnya questions bebree ɛfa ɛdan ho deɛ na ɛkɔ so kyɛ sɛ wohwɛ deɛ ɛkɔ to na ɛnyɛ kyɛ sɛ obi a ka wɔ sɛ asɛ fam koraa because yɛhwehwɛ a asɛ wodwen ho ɛndwen wodwen ho ɛndwen eti no yɛnyɛ nnua wɔ ha deɛ na yɛne yɛbɛyi no yɛma no nkɔkwa because ne background is very impressive nti no obetimi aboa yɛ wɔ ha yo tien start bibi sɛnea wosi wɔ field yi mu deɛ ɛdeɛn ɛna wotete fa anaasɛ questions bɛn na wota receive ɛfa deɛ ɛkɔ so ɛba ɛdan sɛ ɛdan promu anaasɛ ɛdan tɔn mu anaa bibi saa ɛfa deɛ na ɛkɔ so deɛ questions pa na wonyinya.
But as Nana, one of the main questions that me who across board is a lot of people want in day-to-day living one either have to rent or own. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that I talk to and I say I've come across they realize that owning is the best way forward in terms for short term and a long term. And so one of the challenge that is going on, there are two challenges that now is facing the real estate market, right? Which is one, affordability and pricing. So if I talk about affordability, if your prices have gone up, especially it's all started, we were doing fine till COVID hit, right? And so when COVID hit now, all of us were thinking, with COVID showing up, which we had automatically the whole world shut down now. We thought, okay, well, if there's a shutdown and the economy shrunk, we enter into premature recession in United States, and most part of the world enter into a period of recession. So at that point, everybody was thinking, so, oh yes, so if there's a recession and if there's a decline in the economy, it presents an opportunity to say, in the downturn, prices go down. And so what I heard, that time, 2 years ago, was that, oh yeah, home prices were going to go down. Home prices were going to go down. And so that's what people were thinking. But unfortunately now, it didn't happen that way. The economy shut down. And so a lot of people who work in the offices, now, it came to pass, it said people have to rather bring their businesses or work to their homes. And so instead of people going to offices, they have to turn their home to businesses and offices. And so unfortunately, it put, strains on the housing market, which means from the last recession, which is from 2008, this is the longer period of time U.S. housing market has gained equity ever on a record without any break. And so we had a shortage of inventory from the recovery in Benjana, inventory is dropping. And so prior to COVID, which is 19, home inventory was very low. And then all of a sudden, with 2020 now, it came to pass that a lot of people wanted to buy homes. So in a situation where we have lower inventory, eventually, quickly, the people who were looking at, they couldn't find one, and now we have a new buyers came on the market. So right there now, as you and I know, supply and demand. So if there were 100 homes in a particular zip code and we have 300 people looking at, eventually it became like as an auction. So it became like a bidding war. So unfortunately, just to come back to your question, that 2020-21, right now, we have to see a decline now. Those years, now depending on which part of the country and the zip code that you live in now, we saw appreciation at a minimum of 20% increment on home values. Even in certain zip codes or certain cities, we saw 40% growth across board in the United States. So for the past 2 years, unfortunately, now it just drove home prices up till end of last year. And then the government realized, this thing is getting out of control. So what do we do? And so that's why till end of 2021, interest rate was the lowest on historic level, like under 3 and so. And so the government started warning from 2021. They said, you know what? In 2022, in order for home prices and commodity, everything, because inflation is high. And the only thing they said the government need to step in. That last year they started with high all the interest rate from home to anything. So now I realize that car or credit card. So credit card is a fixed interest rate. So any loan, personal loan, say a fixed interest rate. BB loan be will be an fixer. You're going to realize say adjustable when we enter somewhere February, March coming last year, your interest rate has gone up. It continue to go up. And so the government deliberately step in to push up interest rate. And so by so doing that, one, as you are saying, one Ukutofia now, your interest rate has doubled. January last year, for instance, I remember I closed homes that they've locked in December. Their interest rate were under 3%. So from last year, from let's say March, that way our government, they started dialing back on the tapering on the interest rate. Now it's 6% and over. So one, because of that, one, affordability has become very expensive. Until now, from last year, January, any this year, a year from now, rate has doubled. And unfortunately, home prices has not also gone down. Now, home prices also are high. Until now, there are two challenges that consumers are facing, which I hear it. People come to me and people call me, I read, I hear it. And when I talk to my broker, my fellow co-workers, the problem is that now the consumer is being squeezed because if you anybody rate is cost. And so these are the two main challenges now is affecting the economy, which is the housing. Because when we talk about the US economy, and I said the whole world economy is based upon consumer spending. And the consumer spending is what translates into the economy. If the consumer is not spending, there's no economy. Because you go to work, I go to work, everybody go to work, and the end result, they say we go out there, we spend, and the money make it back to the system through individuals, and they go back to the central government, and they use it to run the economy. So now the problem that the whole nation, and I said the whole world is facing now, in the housing area, I said prices are high, rates are high, and this rate hike now, like I said earlier, it's not just housing market, it's affected everything that you are going to finance. And the goal of the federal government is to use this high interest rate to bring down commodity prices. But unfortunately now, by them doing this now, they are going to hurt us, which is if you are going to finance things, you're going to pay more. And so now, these are some of the things that is going on that I'm hearing that people are hurting, and we don't know how things are going to play out.
Yo, thank you so much. That was it. So what you mama the ecosystem no. Na yehwemu a ye hwɛ the ekona with the real estate market no. Is it going to slow down in 2023 Anna?
That's a very good question. So now, no, if you're talking about the state of the real estate market, I would say the state of the real estate market, is very resilient, very stable. It's still good, stable. Homes are still holding their values because the reason being is, like I said earlier, it's supply and demand, right? So adibia and say adibua any etiso. If there's abundance of things, and that's where people reduce prices. Because if I'm selling my laptop and I have 3 people bidding on it, there's no any incentive for me to reduce it for anybody, but rather who want to pay for top dollar. So the state of the housing market now is stable. And one of the things that is going on is for last year, for information internal purposes, with all the higher rate that the government did now, unfortunately, we didn't see a decline, but we've rather seen a stability. So now I would say that there's a stability in the housing market, right? In that, like I said, that 2020, 2021, we saw an average appreciation of 20% to 30% across United States. Places like California, Florida, Seattle, certain areas saw the most appreciation. But in Northern Virginia, across board, at least depending on your zip code, that we saw 20% appreciation or more. Correct? But last year now, we saw just a modest appreciation. So overall in Northern Virginia, depending on where you live at, we saw like maybe 4-5% appreciation. So in the eyes of the government now, it's a progress. Because if the previous 2 years we've seen 20%, 30% growth in home value, let's say in 2022 there was 25% growth. Then to the eyes of the government, they've done well. So now I would say home prices have stabilized, and not just stability. And on the other hand, so say prior to last year, like let's say somewhere up to bare match, when people are buying home, they couldn't ask for closing costs. The seller should help with the closing costs, and I said you cannot negotiate on the price. But thank goodness.
Chief Romin Chief me de a to so for we share the prices as we are prices core any percentage a year no. It may screw down or state who the SNC core any other broker so.
Right. So when you look at it across a board now, you realize that prior to the next year match, Obi 24, you couldn't ask them say until so. But what did we see? From somewhere last year March up and coming, Obi didn't feel to marketer, you are able to go there or so pay 400,000. Which make out so maybe 380 and now 370. You are able to negotiate. So now, the state of the housing market now, I would say now it has shifted from it used to be seller's market. That means prior to last year, by March, it was only sellers who were in the driver's seat. What made in the field to market was if you're near 400,000 before I realize it, because of bidding, if you're 400,000, might end up selling for 450. But as of last year, because of this higher rate now, there's a stability in the market. Now you don't see those kind of price gouge, rather, either you can able to buy it at the listed price, or you'll be able to reduce the price, and you're also able to ask the seller and they say, oh, pay for the closing cost, which especially for most first-time buyers and millennials, most of them have come out of college, and not even millennials, some even people who are already couples. It's not easy somebody being able to come out with a down payment and at the same time paying the closing costs. But in this current market now, we are able to tell the seller of the home to say, please help this individual with the closing costs, which is very steep. So, for instance, let's say if you're 400,000, right? Obi kota Virginia, Hanamo, closing cost is very reasonable. On an average, is 2.5% to, let's say, 3%. So if you feel 400,000, your closing cost is 10,000 on 2.5%. We are able to help talk to the seller, no, negotiate and help them pay for you. That means all you are left with is your down payment, right? It saves you some money. And not just that, Ubo right now, a first-time buyer, and their programs, which I know, so we're going to talk about it. No crying, be a first-time buyer, no. All they are bringing is 1%. The state of Virginia give them another percent, 2%, 2.5%, and then with just a little money coming from their pocket, they are able to buy home. So now, no, there's in every market where there's advantage and disadvantage. So now the disadvantage is that interest rate is high, but the advantage is that now buyers also have sale in the game now. So that is where we are. And so continue from here, you ask and said, are we going to see a decline in the market? So last year, yes, we saw a decline. But like I said now, the decline that we saw last year, that it's not the decline that when we talk about bubble, this no, that is not what we are talking about here. Because in 2008 now there was excessive homes, right? Market. The builders were just building, anyhow. And when the last time that happened, now the last recession we now, it was all due to the subprime loan. So let me talk about it in a minute.
Quite different.
We're talking about dropping in houses. Something has to move something in order for something to take place. And so going back to the previous years now, there were oversupply of homes. They were building anyhow. 2, mortgage was cheap. Not cheap as interest rate, but there were this predatory lending in that there was no regulation in the banking system. And so I can just say I work for Nana Befi & Co. I just write the name Nana Befi & Co. Nobody is going to ascertain whether Nana Befi & Co. is a company. So far as I have a name and social security and a credit. So we call what's called stated income. So a lot of people took loans that, technically, like I said, Nukrani said, they couldn't qualify for it. But because the bank was just giving loans now, a lot of our brothers and sisters took loans. They couldn't pay for it. And so people took loans that they couldn't qualify. The bank gave it to them. People overplayed their hands. A lot of people overplayed their hands. Ebiank and the budget, Ebiank went to 2005. But because of the young checking income, the bank approved him or her for 4,000 mortgage, which in theory, that's a pan say these individuals will make 4,000 on between the 2 and the bank and I say it's not it's the bank was able to convince the general public say, now in 2 years time equity baby now they are financing now payment form. And unfortunately it was all lies. It wasn't true. There was nothing like that. And so people fall for it, and people took on loans that they couldn't repay. And so what happened? It became obvious that a lot of people couldn't keep up paying the mortgage. And so there was a lot of default. A lot of people defaulted. And when they defaulted now, unfortunately, now the bank started foreclosing the homes. And that time also, the Iraq war also, and all that came into play. And so when there's a war, the government has to use Yesika Yewono, Ebino de Kokon. And at the same time, the government was facing with 2 challenges. Or say, this can be Kokon. At the same time, also this can be Sucre if you. And it became obvious that the government couldn't bail the Wall Street, because when a situation like that comes out, the government comes to rescue the banks so that the bank will let Main Street go free, which is us. But the government couldn't rescue Wall Street, so the Wall Street has to come and change Main Street, which is you and I. And that is what happened. So then they started possessing all the homes, and they took a lot of homes, and there were no buyers, right? And so what happened? Once there are no buyers and the home are sitting on the market, the banks were due fee if you need 500,000. Now on the entire what is 350. It is a bank no community 1 hour no. You turn fee you su value. Say waji if you buy 5 for now you turn fee if say 10. Name half your turn 350. Then you turn half also 400. Now the new price in the community become 350. Into why would I want to the amount would fee near 500 no. Unfortunately, right then you to be 350 no. Automatically your price has dropped to 350. So that is what happened across the United States because of foreclosure. And that's what sank a. And in addition to that, I said the make now a confusion is if you be Brianto. The husband also said your body don't come. And so the last time, no, that is what brought this economy down. But coming back to your question, no, a crash. There can be a decline, but not a crash.
Me kwabna boaten. Yate, or see stay focused. We're all over the place. Say we see stay focused. Yo yate, welcome to for joining us. You best stay within the lane. Bro, the so na me shake kakra ne say. See a share. Say last year I think na me nya question say be about the prices no. A price no and I say price no ebe drop here and I say bibisa. Na the same thing I will kana na me so make say. Ye hwe se ne nneema si ko na a dan na 200,000 because demand and supply there's a lot of demand na supply in huntino. People were competing like option. It hey we got dan a 200 nipa 10 aba ho obi se ma 220 obi se ma 224 obi se ma 230 obi se ma we obeji the highest bidder no. It's a lot of houses now the value ankasa no is not the value. What is going on say if BBI your friend say a correcting right now. It is true, the organ is true. In whom say a dine pay. But a mum, the price na kukudru baby a nani senke drew and a back to it. It is a unsi at dine biswa for now, and yes, a drop you. But almost the banner original the way was a bananke see. It is a mina me what dine na dine on a 300 and cost a ton. And I say, na be me area ni na obi a nke dan na 300 na manfo atoton mo dan 400 ne ade. Remember I be me to dan 200 but the say na dan drew 300 and because of what the na cost nti akwa drew saa no na say me ton me dan na say me hwe na say e be hardren a ade na me fan back to the original because value no di ankasa di enko form by correcting no ho nti the okan ne kwanmu anu anu no nti no me hu say for now no even though no hu say be a price almost reduce and no just say the house of the value no price not perform do from baby and one but the house of the value no dey still an call for I'm say no so no was here where price no any uncle form yet sorry price no form by the value actual value of the houses no dey baby a jana ni jan yanko baby even class still no or more it me sure see be more price down and no just still the values are still it's still no more ton more down so still no or some more gap kakra even though say na say they can say 10 into buyers market kakra but still kra no hwem kra na enye say they can say zip code so is very important because me states ni bi ho no ma even within the states ni kra and cities ni bi ho no ma utim say still housing prices no enye hwe e move no humpo when was baby also atim say omodi ase kofom kakra meaning say yes the value of the house no a drop but the prices na kukudru ho no you can say am for gage price no sa gage name say e ba form about be drew the value na kasa nti I will see if this how way to your mind say the value of the houses na kasa there inyanko form yet we haven't seen that yet but the prices no e na ekofom all right it you say yeah let me say what can be bebre afai ho But if you say send in your field, no send you see koso whatever is going on, the questions na koso ne sa ne mani na no. Ufi said the interest rate no because same say na the government no fee sen koyesa be ma manfo akofom, but still no the demand is so high no. And it's the bema share based on your experience. You say we the if one dey buy based on your experience. No share bibi bema because of that interest rate in best start government bit start who bibi na because e wo mu say na ye housing no housing ne de ne kan ba na nye no kwantina interest rate no so omo me sure say a broader we are nyama bibiri no fi say nyama out of hand cost ro but we say house ne de na still no as yen shede hu impact bia wo mu kese ne be ma government no e de start reduce interest rate na based on the influence of the housing ne de no.
Yes, so I think it's it's a good question. So when it comes to interest rate there, the interest rate, the only time our government, two things are going to happen before the government will begin to reduce the interest rate. There's kind of, when I look at the trend there, the possibility that in this spring market, we might have improvement in interest rate in the mortgage in the short run. And then somewhere summer is going to piggyback again. Once it go up, from there, it's not going to go up again. It's going to stay there. And so once it get to another peak, BMR, two things are going to make the government act to come down. Because I think that after this year, summer now, the rate is going to stay there. Two things. The government want to see is that there's a price stability, which we've already started experiencing. Like I said, the home prices are not going up. And he wants to see our prices coming down, which is going to be yes and no, all depend on your zip code. So in this year that we are projecting, say, we're going to see modest growth. We are not going to see a lot of growth, right? So in the eyes of the government, last year they will say,
we are not thinking of decline by growth instead, still. By and yet said the other time. No.
So in the eyes of the government, because remember I said earlier on, I did talk about 2020, 2021, we had average 20 to 40% appreciation in value. And so if last year, Virginia, for instance, if we had about 5% appreciation, that means in the eyes of the government, there has been 15% to 35% of decline because they don't want things to go up. So it doesn't mean necessarily if here now you see it's maybe 500,000 beginning of this January. If in December that home is still even 505 and now 500, in the eyes of the government, it's achievement because the prices did not move from January. Good, and I said it didn't move. That's the reason why when you pay attention to every matter, we come out with CPI and all those kind of terms, right?
Okay,
we read
it's a share. Even though no, as me layman and as an individual, home buyer, no, we share the difference now. And yeah, just coming by the government in there because they go with those CPI and those things, no. I impact more.
Yes, in terms of the value, yes, because they see and it's no all that they are doing, they are working for you and I. Because I don't know the government. Who is the government? The government is you and I.
That's right.
It's just that all of us cannot be in the office, so we've selected people to represent us, and so all that they are doing is for us. So what I'm going to say is that we are not going to see a decline. So let's state the how do you call it, straightforward. When we talk about in the state, people want to see we are going to see a repetition of 2018. No, that is not going to happen. For the time I've been in real estate and my broker, from my manager, from all the conferences and the meetings we've had now, anybody that is thinking, current home that worth 500,000 a year from now or end of 2024, that home is going to work 350, 400,000. It's not going to happen
because
because
it's different. different.
We are in different markets.
Different. Because what happened in 2008, no, and yet the same thing. The man bar down, and yet the same thing, and it happened right now.
No, at that time, no, it was subprime loan. Subprime
That
loan.
was the issue at that time. It was subprime,
which was good, which was the adjustable rate. And then now we go to that they give you 2 loans, right? You say who to 400,000 or first 80%, no, right? Which is 320,
different interest.
Good, 320, the amount be 7%, right? Now
15
with 20%, no, which is 80,000, no. Yes, the amount will be 11%. That's 11%, no, so you interest only. And I go across the whole loan in interest only. That means that we 2 years if you're not a won't you a capre crown. That was what caused the problem. And then from 2014, Obama reformed the housing market. There's a regulation in place. And I know, sir, Nana can testify with me, and some of our hearers can also testify. Sir, and the Ukutofia, a child of these clients. Even the funny part is, a china uko close nessa ene. Sir, bank ne free with you, say, oh, do you have him, Alex Champion? You ask, yes. Do you have in mind, say, in the next 3 months, Ube Alex Champion? When you search na loan, you could close it, and the bank will cancel the loan.
So, I say no.
You can say yes, within the next 3 months.
They will cancel the loan.
They will cancel the loan because they know, sir, who close you have 1 month or 2 months grace period. And the 3rd month also between a carrier when you're Juma, I didn't know say do loan amount.
And say if who proves to say in your account, you have emergency fund of about maybe 6 months emergency fund. I will move to me prove still no cancel.
So it depends on the situation. There are even some borrowers depend on their credit profile crana auto loan as part of the condition they need to have 3 months of reserve or 6 months of reserve. Depend on your credit profile now. It's already required. Say ubenya 3 months, 6 months. And so if no matter what it is now, if you fall in that category, it's different. But if your loan doesn't fall even in that category, now we can create Guma. The first thing the bank is not going to say, oh, it's can go account. They will cancel it.
And at this point, it depends on the kind of loan now old, Say if it fall into that category, and said you they are fine, then even you the crash, since I know you are required to have those 6 months or 3 months reserve and only they won't base on
no, still they will still cancel it. They'll still cancel it because it's a regulation, because independent say only because the law they say at the who sign table, so who be our 2 years recently at the signing table, there's a form my mouth signature say lose at the day now was signing and at the day now was signing next one lose why did they want to approve your loan?
Okay.
So coming back to the original question now, we are going to see a decline, but we are not going to see a housing crash as people think is going to happen. So those who are homeowners, they should chill out, relax, and know say we feel they're waiting for 500,000. 6 months, 1 year from now, your house is not going to work 450 or 500. No, I mean there can be movement, but we know the fundamentals of the housing market is very stable.
Okay, it's in this state, you find say even though there's going to be a decline, and maybe be affecting the price too much to extent. Say we will be at all chain say, all chain say, Mel Kwabinabuate, I see you have signed FBI form 2. I don't know if you're only kakra. Oh, you have to sign. Okay, you have. Okay, until I was signing FBI form. Say, chichim kakra my pachoa. Eti. Say we will be out here. China will train say. we be a media may train be a co-form I'm so much so they are send our money pan.
Good.
Because
So,
you see channel from experience I'm sharing whatever is going no. I know so you deal with so many of the finance necessary money now no. It's when inside kakanti and also send it here.
good. So, I think say you me a question or deba now. I think say there's affidavit. Oh
Yeah,
Sania. Every form a say wajuma asma ka no kore. It is a that day no one lose job now sign ya later no. They go back to do auditing. It is a they audit it. Now they realize now we lose wajuma and I'll sign ya. That means it's a fraud.
Pedri.
Good. It's every account and then you have a can. There's that form no sign. They say the who can you know correct. It's actually no. Ya cross no be what you are walk the loan in make sure as smart can no correct.
Yo, bro. It's about it. Thanks for your input. It's what Pedro. Yes, sir.
It is hardest, yeah. But no cries as genuinely make us sign in energy na you media. Mean true.
Tinia be depend on those things. So
There be some signing in it and me ko adwuma and I me oha na kira me ko adwuma ne afram se yi media na say oh e bia okra akati awo se untwa ntro and run na wo adwuma.
Any amount for here, amount for between a jail. I'm for between a jail.
Oh no.
What
it's serious business. America they are not joking.
Because last time they said you know can BBA na areho because nipa bebre me use me kra me ho as example me catch me sign loan bia me kra na I didn't know what kind of loan I'm signing. They said you can me two mortgages. One it was I think 5.6 or 7.7 I think it was 6.5. The next one was like 14. Even though I know you kakra bi no just say ska utria we no so kra root just say ya be drew we no kra. You know, I didn't know. Na me nim and one say Charlie Satan will be a to that was to be. You know, yeah. It ska good was say you know. And I keep betimi ato ebo ne aye. Anyway, ye beba e ho no so. E kwan ye befa so ye betimi aye we. Enti no it crash there. Yen fancy na this year there ye hu crash because the movie bebre hu ewe mu say send one hwa yi sikwa kwe na asa prepare nkra nya krank one hwa beton efi.
No, there be so and there be crash there. Crash is not going to happen. And I just want to assure, not because I'm a real estate by profession, I'm also a homeowner, right? And so it's not because I'm a real estate agent. I'm also a homeowner, and I also want my value to go up. What I say, and I'm not just talking as a realtor, but I'm talking as somebody who also I'm also building wealth for me and my family, because the essence of real estate is one, to have a shelter, two, to build to invest for your future. What you say? And so with the crash in there, I think say people should calm down. Say there's no inventory now. No, the current state now. In order for us to say we have a normal marketer, we are supposed to have 6 months of supply of homes, right? To say the market, that means that nipaga say your normal people be a more marketing at a particular goal, and by that normal people now we're supposed to have 6 months of supply. So normal people no case or to few so but as we are now speaking, we have only half of it. Nation, even depending on your zip code, you realize say who bought zip code now if you should be at 300 to 1 million. If you are not lucky, even 40 homes will not show up from 300,000 to 1 million, depending on your zip code. 40 homes will not show up. So just imagine say if a whole zip code now the 300 to 1 million ship, now we're 40 homes, what tells you about it? That means that there's no homes to sell, right? So if there are no home to sell, that means how is your home prices going to drop? Because we never know they are not going to give their home to somebody for free. And one of the reasons why it makes this market also different, people have locked themselves into ultra lower super interest rate.
Before this Eba.
Before ever. And people sell homes for reasons quickly, right? Either they are downgrading, they are upgrading, or maybe they've retired, they're moving to a retirement home. Correct? So those who are moving to retirement home, they are still selling. But the two categories of people, which is either downgrading or upgrading, now, a lot of people are not doing it because obu okra na ebi anemetu ni fie ni so. Now, currently, because of the lower interest rates, maybe they are paying $3,000 a month, right? They don't need the space because they are warming the entire house, which is wasting of energy. However, they want to go buy a townhome. But that particular townhome that they are going to buy now, unfortunately, because of the high interest rate, they are going to pay $3,000
for the same, I don't know.
That's it. It was saying, you know what, I'm not moving. So that is the reason why this market is unique. Inter stagnant. Inti the person or tongue equisive from ontiminko. The person or tongue no kotoki to an anti I stagnant. And because I say, okay, I'm comfortable with my payment and I'm not selling. And I also know one of the things that I has to comfort to motor. Any omo wofi and so say because of over the years the appreciation, with the exception of those who just bought homes now, everybody that bought home up to end of 2021, everybody has equity in it, right? So with that amount of
maybe some question
until with the amount of equity now, people are not going to just walk away from their equity so that the bank will take it. And so that should comfort every homeowner. Say, everybody want to protect their interest, which is their equity. And people are enjoying lower payment. And so why also our now, you can be rest assured, say, because people are not going to abandon their home, it's not going to affect your value as a new homeowner. And you also say people are saying, oh, may try on mona if your prices are dropping. Well, I mean, every penny helps. Intimate. When people come to me and they ask me, hey, Alex, do you think say home prices are going to drop? I want to sit by. I have clients they are buying. Others so they are sitting by, right? But unfortunately, say nobody can predict because I have clients they wanted to buy in 2020, and some of this story are if you're not buying, if you're not buying, and I keep telling them, say, you know what? I've lived in the first housing bubble. I've been here over 20 years. And so I've lived good market, bad market, ugly market, all the things. So I have experience as a homeowner and now a realtor. I'm telling you, you cannot have super lower interest rate and lower prices
at the same time.
Read American history. The two can never happen. Either home prices is high, interest rate is low, or home prices is low and interest rate is high. And so, yes, there are people who are more sitting on the fence. They want to see the home prices coming down. And that is their choice and their preference. And so, hey, AB as a anchor, if you are last year better on 500,000, that's and about 480, where we're saving 20,000. And so, I'm talking about maybe in terms of the price.
The price.
Right? As I would say, amount for sitting some more percent, price is declining. And also now, a lot of people also are saying, oh, I'm about to tell my rate be from. But on the rate, what I tell people is that when you're buying home, you ask yourself, what is your long-term goal, right? So on average, that in US, 3 to 5 years, piano, people refinance their mortgages. Me, myself, sitting here, my current home, I've refinanced it twice. And so,
how many years?
How many years has I not refinancing?
I'm saying how many years no refinancing it twice?
Oh, my current home, me 70 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my refining twice because anytime a rate drop, I take advantage. Right. And so on average, now people refinance their home 3 to every 5 years. And so what I'm telling people, and I continue to tell everybody, is that buy something that you can afford. right? Because now, no, so we can say, okay, rate into what you are still throwing money away, right? But you can pay a little bit high an interest rate, which also now people want to understand, say, the more interest rate you pay now, if you do that means you're going to write off a lot on your taxes. So it's not like Sika Wutuegu. You pay more, but in a year you're going to write off a lot of them on your taxes. And then once interest rate goes down, you go back to refinance it to a lower payment. And so that is my advice for people who are sitting on the fence. But I respect everybody and their decision.
Okay. Yo, bro, and yeah, about a trim, your friends saying one you know, you big break kakra na what be a Google so na yako commercial break na within a minute or two no yasa back. It's native for a court break, commercial break near Saba back. You know, moon term kutu na moon train.
So tomorrow, I think we'll be fine. I'll talk to you. Alright, no problem. So, yeah, I'll call you.
You're running dancing out to no so that shut up movement. We love money and don't One fight to the ceiling. Western Union, send them come. I will keep receiving. On this highway, we see day. Every day, we fly out to Miami, Jamaica. We never stop cheering. Make me love money, make me dance. Make me love money, make me dance. Make me love money, make me dance. Make me dance. Make me dance. Make me love money, make me dance. Make me love money, make me dance. Make me love money, make me dance. Make me dance. Make me dance. I told me, in a joking, every pattern we joking. Them wonder why they can't love me. Everything we do, worry. Me and the dancer, I am the governor. That's how the first them try to me. Mini baby, draw me. Oh, yeah, catch me. Oh, yeah, only time how we come to yeah. Next year will be my glorious year. Yeah, I've been patient. I've waited so long. I want to see clearly now. But mine make me love money. Dance, make me love money. Give me dance, make me love money. Dance, let me dance, let me dance, make me love money. Let me dance, make me love money. I love it. Hi, Live Radio. Let me dance, let me dance, let me dance, yeah.
Yo, it's here for your boy Patrick Befi, High Life Radio, and our TSC Custom program. No, your discussion, no, about current state of the housing market. Your bra, and yeah, Alex Adumakwe Champon, and on your discussion, no, or your rate expert. Apart from that, no, a little bit about the housing finance side, no, so no, it's na state na ye drew na say ye hwese ne housing a city say bibia say no ye hwe mo den because prices say na ye see ko no we do any share one share won to that it's no my advice say or no dey say am for preference and as am for wo mo on na yi ba no my advice kakra say we obi a opese wotna atwen say house prices be kofuma to no dey based on you say as a homeowner and you say based on you crash say or your rate and crash a homeowner no and that's no experience so or the crew man who near be brew go through a strong form near CSN economy nisi corner affected ti ono den can advice ne senka why you ready party with me because I was all share where yankasa ti memo what was free or so share who goes and we start yen free ho.
Mendasi nana se asama kwa beautiful ya menshira mo se mo so ma se madaje yen se America hanmo time is very precious nti ka motumi ayi bibia o se mo ye but wanya homere se mo ba betie ya na yesi ye damase mo daje na ya metu nshira mo na de
Say where you no coffee volume no coffee what mute no
yeah so nana medasiti yasada etiefu asibio se yasan onya asutie di amaye enti de bia na make earlier no se if to say bias obi o si or tena house line no ne nyina ye individual no utofia the question na ye nyina na say bi say why am I buying home? Because if you don't know bibia we bia no say one trans end defy no one hwe obroni said the purpose the reason objective out there na you not understand it very well until see atia no ma yetia say ahoho a wo bi kromi edenti ene yeso ye ba ha yeso ye besi die wo Ghana and I say we're going to build in our country where we are from. What is the rationale behind it? Or why are you going to buy a home? You have to sit down, if you are individual or if you are family, define the purpose and the reason why you want to own a home. So once you are able to define and come up with reasons why you want to have a home, that is what is going to shape your decision or how soon or how often or what you are going to buy. Because like you are saying, yeah, there are people also in the other camp that say, hey, me talk not surprise need decline and I'm anything. Well, going back to 08, I knew a lot of homes are 08. These homes were about, let's say, 400,000. As you and I are speaking, some of these homes, you know, the original price maybe at that time I call 400,000, maybe it was 600,000 a decline a year. As you and I are speaking, some of these homes have come back and it worth about $700,000. That means that those individual owners who have a long-term plan are 018 ebia ya anyi ne fie mfidi nsem no. Now if you know 600, then I'm not gonna say yeah, the value will recover the value, and now he has equity in it, right? And so now you have to define your objective. Home purchase. Now, why do we buy home? Two reasons why everybody buy home. One, stability for your family. Say, Obaka said, "This is I own it. This is my home." Metiano we bomb me them. Next time me ready. Me share me doorbell. Me share me camera. Me me partner me bio. Because me fee na ufi out you and me obi bom na hwe o doorbell mu pese o rem and o rem ufi. And one of the reasons why you don't face to finish one is to have a place called home, and you know, so I control, you run the shot. Second reason for your future, said you are building wealth for yourself. And that is where I want to chip in here. Say, and you know my ATA. But person me can 20 penny now say home ownership is not meant for any specific individuals. It is a wood yen. And as obeti chile ne bi ayewa you say, oh, me de me ntumi ntofia. And I say nipa bi potine tumi tofia eya dada. Everybody can own a home if you want to do it. Can we all buy the same amount of home? No. But my advice to everybody that is hearing us, and as anybody that is going to listen to this tape and as watch us later, and I say, if you have the opportunity in Kwadia and you live in this America and Yamia now you have tumi, aba. Now you're Juma, let's say to your renter. No matter how low you are paying the renter, Miss Rowe said, Bidinya Miss Rowe said, but more than says our rent, nobody converting into mortgage. Because no matter how cheap your rent, no, some no me yet 20 years, 30 years, whatever years. Nasa I done our rent new 12 months. Because I won't say a day and I would equal. That is one question. Says I danya mitima me renti obi apartment obi fia mitimu se mitua se mitramu 10 years 20 years na mitua me list ni wa and then I'm deco. And that is one thing I'm appealing to everybody. Say as much as mube to me say even say wonko win come crown so na mo ye nuanom na mobete mo ho ase even adamfofo kra no na mobete mo ho ase na mo mie no wotumi aka say okay menko anka metumi ato 200,000 menko 200 okay minya enti ye mie ne yente ye ho ase ne yenka say efie ye mie ne ye dia ba ko betra soro ba kontra basement rather than say ye betua rent am obi a anuanom wotena mu fie num mfie du a wo daachi is going to be very 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 bright. And into the America Hanomono, so be to fear your friend American dream. Because let me take the time to explain here very, very well. This is statistics. So you can say worth, the difference between those who own home and those who don't own home. The vast is big, very, very huge. It is will be a homeowner. Only wa wunifie in terms of yedia, muye there's a big gap because it will be tenefie mu so wabaha no watofie. Let's say watofie 300,000. Na watumi atue ma ne fie na ka 150. Now so wa rent ya for lifetime. Na mu nyina 15 years ono akoton de fie. Wanya akuti 150 versus wa rent ye. Enti enuanom yesre ye ho say ye momoden say ye bede ye betumi invest into home ownership. And home ownership no one of the reason I can apart from say yeah ebi ebu ha yinim afi bia no wo fi a afi bia no wo follow taxes you write off your taxes wo mortgages wo interest or property taxes na afi bia no betu am account no and also follow taxes afi bia no all writing off. And the benefit of home ownership no there and is endless. Enti we ya de a medi twam na mama ye tiefo na ate say if you to air is not meant for any special people. Obu I make so the creditor say I know say nana I have video so okay credit wasem. America hanom no. American system is built on the credit system. Eti America hankasa the bank no say amount for credit say ya obompe. They don't like it because economy and an economy the economy is built on the credit because utumi kotofie utumi kotoka utumi ko credit card utumi ko Macy's uko charge magu credit card so a eno no model build on economy. And the American government and also the banks they are not out there say o credit the best enti onua o credit say ya make us credit say there's a way you can get back on your feet. Talk to the expert. Nana, talk to Nana. Me, myself, I have in Kofua and the idea. I can't say people for free. OboOkrana, Nana, what in the back asano? The credit limit, ebia, one 2,000 or so the credit, I say. So I say, it ye be big tinketia, ebia, we know because I won't be a bit much the wa, or better no credit in a run. Obey the bit be there to fee. And here, yes, ya bobi memu, but a doubt to Krumi and yes, Meti hase ebia real estate agent. But me gidi se nuanu mo etie bi ene na nane nkofo a wo matoto fie o moto na kwa papa so no. Wo beti ho adi ho adanse. Se de den aboa wo mo. Se bi ofie kra no ofie na ofie ne equity bema. Na ye kra ye fie African wo si fie ho a wo betumi akobo fie no mbesia. Se ofie
me were different ideas for that, but they call.
So I say, what a mobisia, so what could equity because so what could personal loan depending on credit score, I bet you I can say be at 12%, 13%, 10% interest rate. But so why ufie now, no could equity line of creditor and the crowd rate across the crown, be a 7%. In Tuba says also between 14% on a normal loan. Who if you include Ukwa your rate is low. At the same time, no. Interest no crana would equity line of credit no so no. What's the follow taxes? Enti we ya ade bia na me person bi hyem e wa han mo na ye nua mo no mo yi ehu efiri omo because obi o han ma was na me kwaji na me ntumi antue na apartment na no bi fie na rent ne enu ntua de ka utua ena ye nua no so ntia se becoming a homeless in a rental environment is higher than becoming homeless with a home. As a bank, bet me a case were 2 if you feel no. Also to me, 3 months, 6 months, and even beyond that, call bank, call lawyer home, and lawyer no. Actually say, court, I say, your mom, say 250 years. It is what you want to say, that's all called judge, and then I say, Your Honor,
I mean, we do 3 months cry, and that's that time, no. Near my thing to you.
No matter to you, judge the back at the bank and they say, when you be, was so episode trend film with Mr. More money, when you're Juma or Bessa. But apartment no be feared yet, so you could eviction by Boha on ya.
That
No
did
building.
The Kutiba Abidra.
You never go up on thing. And I can assure young Crawford say, owning a home is the most surest way you know, sir, you can be stable and not become homeless, not in rental properties.
Bro, what can some be brave? Some of them, no. I think we're on the same page, but I have a way of going around it. It's my main spell like a crabby about sideways. So we'll be on my right now sorting channel. Okay, very, very nice. I say questions be brave. I for stock exchange. Me 401k, Maku reduce no. Me jai send me the 401k in the crowd because the economy, your friends saying 401k in the eco form, and I say the stock market in eco form. I'm part eco form. They said you okay na you share the history now. You 500 years. You 500 years now. Stock exchange no. I from by 20% pay. I cost 80%. At the same time, you go back to say you okay na you share 2008. Now you say 4,000, 9,000 something. One a choir could do 4,000 something. But say saying 30-something thousand.
Mm-hmm.
It, you know, you don't lose until you sell it.
Correct.
It, you know, that side, no, the wo hit in papa. It's why I so better sideways. Also, who say, as time goes on, we share the history, we should be a course now. And so those things I appreciate it. And power share, you find some world building now, housing, a boa. Another thing I now counsel is I have very good power. I was so timid toward you, bet me afford it. You know, many a times, your goals, make a hobby. You share your goals, one of the main characteristics of goals setting them out here, it should be your own goal, not somebody's goal. You come for your pesadin the way to die as soon as you to die as soon. Your goal, I'll say you will go and you will be dear now. So why would you go so at the be a baby? I walk on a kokama. Talk and I don't cry. Me will go say me pesemetna a dank seam. And as me say, me to die so and I be sana. Fine. But it's say na me hoso. At the same time, say be cramming pese me timia rent. But me bit me aso be 200. Utwa ubit me move up all the time. The biya de ubi to 300. Me hon so 300. Bunu dim kana to 300. And be de to trouble. To be also me the house me pese me tidin kra because me de me toy am ame. Ampa because one ye ade was say blessing ma no. O ma na ye case amount. Enti eye bibia said the okan high your goals, your my goals, and your goals, ye should do be any acquire. And a be a hotel houses. You know, in Kofubi Bronma, Utim Somiti, a fiac. Utim Sebua, Nitria dear, ye, I did about Kwame who say, which me me go through suddenly be. Ye mortgage in a son. Ye try as much as Bessie and Lusu, the moment that pie friend and Nadia. Yeah, Nebida, because you may yet. Oh, that is a make a blessing. Now the same thing now, a bless you be now be a 10 year because your friends say when you look at millionaires per se in this country, sometimes it's shocking. You know, when we share statistics now, we share the people that we think say, oh, me millionaires no crown, and you want to millionaires. You see, average millionaire in this country lives in a 2,600 square feet house. Oh, that means many would be how. And so, if you said you were taught down Cassiano or what 9,000 square feet in a millionaire. Average millionaire. When I talk of average, I'm talking of 1 million and 1 to then fancy 5 million.
Uh-huh.
They don't buy your friends new cars. They buy slightly used cars. Paid off. Oh, if you someone used to flashy cars and a millionaires. It will show that those statistics ni nana. Maybe I had dream for millionaires no crown on your sanity. But I would not die say, but what equity boom by 20 years. Me, your mind who's true point to be a intimatia. Books are fair at the year before. Hey, and at number 3, maybe I can't no disagree. Cry. Say be up so sit down with you near Cocoji equity line of credit. Bro, I did about queer young crow for pie sardine because many go for be break. Papa, queen, papa, sardine. Many go for be break. Wakwaji kakra wo de asi na wasi ba akokra ya wo wasi no say si be 2-3 e kra anya say oye for the year for adwuma for rent akra bi 2-3 si okro bi antim na afi wo so for ha no otua me de ma men ko back enko si e dan so opese oto dan a ma nenya boko. I have a different philosophy now, going through what I went through now what I know, I have a different philosophy. If you buy fear, one, they won't beat me. A money easy man. Say one deca. Now to fear money easy man. Because one deca now down payment kakra or your first timer. Mr. Jesse say Tony Triaka, which is boo wedding. Especially what baby say better with ya. But what 20% sir your friends say mortgage insurance to me if you when you be now a first time now what 5%, 10%, 3% a year. na so bua ko saa kra na nye ni nya no e ma o mortgage no month no kra dru ba bi kakra because the more they to no e bi a e de o mortgage no so ko from kakra wo emergency fund ho eti we saa na e ma ni nya boko ni nipa bebre kasa obi wonu a utim se wo advice ne se ba bi a point bi a wadru no eye senka obeto bi ba bi a nya abotre kakra bi be ye fan se ne fa toto ne ma yi ne fa koto bo se on ti ase obo no a chire no akwa koto na de asema bre no line of equity ha ye ka ho asemi obi wonu ma obekwa akwaje na odi akwa akosi remember oji a o se utua at the same time so say tua o mortgage nti esa na ebi we ma ne ye den kakra e ma ne ye den ba se wo to na ye hu nipa bebre so obi wonu a wato edan no wo suru kakra edan wato dan na bi edan no ye hu obi a hu obi otene nice house mu ni ade now person call the same thing ahead because ubetimi move up e wo dan mu wo to dan na 200 na 300 no equity kakra be to so no now wo second home remember se wetua anas wetua du baby na equity kakra ba na wo kwakoto the next house na utimi the more to ase it now utimi move call the 600 700 na bibisa ne bi wa fiti preko pe yeso fiti preko pe po se amujaba wo fiti preko pe na wo free bi a which my be da from apartment all the way to 550 long time ago that time 550 house and yet easy all because of the ebe fiato house. And so you know the purpose how they tried also the entire autumn and you can always move up when you be any competition you can always move up and you say okay so catch them say throughout life now be rent here me no nya adwen ba ka say bia oh me to mabu kakra na save na me de akwakoto bia na say me nya down payment kakra na say me ho aheha me na me de akwakoto a nice by a problem be bra me hu pa ye saade no obi goes ne dey goes we was saint was saying chama me koto bi ye mu be bre ho na nye house nko even cars ne ade na that is nyama be bre high pa e was saade no eti no se ye hwa se ne esi kono em se ne osi kire no em se what is sidelines right now na enya advisable I mean your choice your respective views the okwan afa so ba em se based on the ekosu na na ye hwe se ne nyama esi kone se ne esi tie na se wo you be a wadwen se me twen na dan 500 I drop it to say 300 to say the 2008 I drop it and wo beche and ya dia wo beche pa eti no enye bibi em say eye eti say bro my tips kakra say buying a home in today's house market no and I say selling a home we dey buying a home first in today's market no tips then what anyama bi a wo say watch out for dey na wo say ye say na wo say dey hu 2 years sana yetimi aye sa anyama ni na nti no my tips kakra na yehwe say na ebesi aye
but that's a very good one. So all the time now I always tell people say uba to fear it's very very important so you put your financial house in order and so number one I to fear nyoma also one you have to make yourself or credit make yourself you put your credit in order. So credit we because we credit better qualify for well standard rate like your 3 type of loans, right? Your FHA loan, which is government, and your OVE, which is people in the military, Air Force, or Navy, active or pass, and your conventional. And so if you are not in the military, Air Force, or pass or current, then what the loan that is left for you and I is FHA and conventional. FHA is for people who are credit score A low. And a convention and also no A for or credit scores A high. On these 2 loans, you can have high credit score and you can still go do the other one, which I think say another day, no. So we can come and talk about it. So the thing is I want to make sure that your credit score is good. So on conventional loan, where you become very competitive at 680 or better. FHA is 620 or better. However, on the loans now, if you will low as 580, we bet you loan. But me personally sitting here,
conventional and I say
FHA, yes,
FHA, but conventional they very hard.
Very hard. still you can get it, but I don't advise people because your terms are not going to be pleasant.
Okay.
And that is what it is. It's so the standard that I always encourage people is at least whether conventional or FHR, at least get 620 or better. So the higher your credit score, the better.
Mami chwa no kakra ha. Eti no say yemfa say even kra no semi wo yemfa say me be 730. Meaning say meeting fall into conventional kama. Meeting akọ FHR mean a good deal pa to say conventional.
It's yes and no. So since you want to, let me just use few minutes to clarify difference between the two. So anytime I will talk you, like you said in the previous session now, no one for 20% and twice year, you have a mortgage insurance. Whether FHA or conventional, VA for the government no exempt them, only mortgage insurance. And so between all the two loans, it's one for 20%, there's a mortgage insurance. However, on the FHA now, the rules have changed over the years. So one for 20% and twice on FHA. Now with your mortgage insurance, the mortgage insurance stays with the loan for the rest of the loan. That is disadvantage against the borrower. However, on the conventional,
that's also FHA. So where they are,
so who to if you either FHA or conventional, no one for 20% and twice year, it requires mortgage insurance. To say the kind earlier, no, right? But on the FHA now, when the mortgage insurance is built in the FHA now, it doesn't disappear. It stays with the loan no, till you refinance it or you sell the home. And in the long term, no, you realize you throw money away with the FHA. But on a conventional, on the other hand, now there are three ways we do the conventional loan. So conventional, they can be one, you can have a higher rate without the mortgage insurance, or we have the buyout option. Bank in the way to say, okay, and mortgage insurance is 150, but so $5,000 millionaire, we are exempting you from the mortgage insurance, or they put in the 150 mortgage insurance, but they say, because that's already 10% at us, you know, now we need 20%. They say, Utia, Ufia, now 10% woman, and as I said, Ufia the value no cost. Now equity bema. At one point, the mortgage insurance disappears. And so you realize that all of them are good loans from the onset, but there's more room in terms of long-term outlook now. The conventional loan gives you a better outlook, especially because of that mortgage insurance. But initially, if your credit score is not good, the FHA also guarantee you a lower interest rate. So conventional loan will not be a product that you want to start if your credit scores are low. Into over the years, all my clients are say if we have to use FHR right from day one, I let them know, say, hey, you know, we are using FHA, this advantage, this and this. I try to differentiate it for them until they know, say, over the years, once they gain equity or their scores goes up, they refinance it back to conventional loan. And so the preparation, they say you need to make sure your scores are good. Second, if you are also going to buy a home, you have to make sure that you are not switching, line of career. Line of career, no. Say, and the way IT, now it's episode 2 fear. You have to make sure that you maintain your IT. Or if you are going to switch a job, it has to be in the IT field. But if you are in the IT and all of a sudden you say you are in the healthcare, then because you switch a job now, most lenders want to see you be on the new career for 6 months to 12 months before you be able to buy. And that is one thing that people need to take notation. Say, if you have in mind to buy in the next 6 months, do not switch a career. You can switch job. So
it should be the same career field.
Same career field, but you cannot switch job outright. So that is one of them. Also, if you don't say you are going to buy in the next 3-6 months, you can't take on any new purchase on yourself. Let me say it again. When we say we can in the next 6 months, 1 year, Mr. So why we say we can limousine, we can car beer, you have to put that car on hold because two things can happen. Either one, that new purchase can drop your credit score, or that new purchase can reduce your buying power. Let's say, Nana, minu me nyina ye adwuma baako. Afi o make 50, me make 50. Me met me qualify for loan for 250. Who bet me qualify for 100,000 based upon that new car that wakotono.
Debt to income ratio.
Good. It is a car no take part of your purchasing power. And Mr. Also, when we say open house, you don't have to go buy a new car. And I said, me hunkunya bi obi oha wonyanto ofie no enso so wako hunkunya bi ena where the wakoto dia bi gu no okoto efie no dia kogun. And any new debt bia Quebec credit profile, so you have to avoid it if you want to buy a home. So those are the three major things. And also, since your tax season when also who said about follow taxes, especially those who have 1099. 1099 you'll be a weird juma. Now with the yento taxes, you do seek na egu some. Afidua what I watch there, they also to your Uncle Sam. And also, I know for taxes, also you're careful because we'll be bet to my $70,000 a year, especially in your mobile with Uber, with taxi, with Lyft, or one to the taxes, and to work $80,000 a year. Now, in the schedule C, no, what tax person and person with your taxi, which is good. There's nothing wrong.
Good.
And to say, schedule C, no, corner or right to all $50,000. Now, so Uber in chance who could to and I call banks who could to where the bank no ever catch us
30,000.
30,000 because we say what the 50,000 there running with business. It is a we be we are 10 in the nine follow taxes and now could to you have to be very, very, very mindful of it. And also
my memo in church mukakra and the emphasis says first 2 years, emphasis first year may Juma 80,000. My write off bear 50. Second year, my the same thing. Not third year, and when you send to house, then on the emphasis may run off 20 penalty, missing me a Juma 60. That's the 2 years back, no affecting, and I say it's going to be based on just the current one.
So we average it. We do what is called averaging, right? And it depends on the hex history. Anybody who worked 1099 is why you're running 5 years. On a conventional loan, we have a special program. Let's say we are 1099. Now why you're running 5 years, we can use 1 year income. In the other day, so I write off all the income. Not this year, I'll be 2 years. This year, we can report enough income just for this year.
For this year,
because why is
you clear with that side?
So but also we are Jumano, so 1099. We say yento tax, no. You have to be in that field, and I said that waiting for 5 years.
No? 5 years.
So 5 years, yeah. This year you can report enough income and we'll be able to use it.
Yes.
But say when you're in your 5 years there, then go back to your question, you know, we have to average it. Last year, we reported 40,000 positive. And this year, we reported 60,000 positive. We cover 100,000. So we split it out. That means that your qualifying purchasing power is $50,000 because we have to put the two together and split it for 2 years. Your program so for the buyer set tip our work. Virginia your first time buyers program. Maryland so you will be state BIA will be. But since I'm here you Maryland, Virginia, and India, I've seen it a lot. But we almost so what more taxes and say we will be we are first time buyer. Now so what tax person do if you don't know what your taxes, but you go no much shame. Say who was small business. And you may be we know them all. And also Sabasa Wukako just our first time buyers program grant now. State of Virginia and the person who show taxes because
business now we
because so I don't know who could Jessica into no. Say unko Jessica na you share with just W2s in most lenders. Bank we bring now. Maybe no me have about 10, 12 different banks. So why would you down payment? They only take 2 years of W2s. But who could grant now say free money now? They go further and tell say for 3 years taxes, bruh. What they're trying to do is say you share o schedule C no mo say wo claim nyoma bi a ense say wo claim a nti say wo yes na say o say be ma free money a ye betuma instruct say connect amend because the state ni mo ska dia and our government ni mo ska dia no so no utua wo fair share of taxes nti o say no so say wo adwum say wo pese wo nya emwa free aban no ho a o say wo taxes no wo ya say the pushing no o say
we aha
wo catch your tax person say me pese me to fio e bia next year and I say we unya can anybody who is a certified tax preparer no they know exactly what to do. And those are some of the tips are things that I'll give to buyers. Not going to take new debt. Make sure so your credit. Do not switch a job randomly. And also one of the big thing, lest I forget, Nana, one of the mistake, there's nothing like who sign in African community. If you want to buy a home for yourself, please, unless one be, do not go sign a car, co-sign a car, co-sign student loan, co-sign anything, co-sign credit card. If anybody tells you, oh, but they would into sukeke. No, there's nothing like Woody or sukeke. Whether say any pattern and they apply the car note, no, and I would in the toss no matena in the eyes of the bank, wouldn't they cut $10,000? And he said, you was say, who could to fee and I could to be new pulu creditor. Eda woso se nipa na antua eda woso nti enu anom ye papa
de hono me me ko feda kra dan chance
enti ye papa
oba kra na eni se woye oba kra eni se woye because se oba 18 na woto na wo de ama no so free ni 18 ho no akọ no school no awie ni ade a still no obetimi aboa na manato. But in fact, even I was saying more than that, even class student loan plus no. Ni see ye. Sa money ni see ye. But what I no see another day.
I
no see another day. It yes I don't know. Bro say ye pa. Obi just obi sign keke. No. E idea e high pa ye boa.
Bibia no pa sign keke bia ni baby.
Debi. Na ye hwe so a bank no oba so a o hwe de oye yi wo mu no. Tu a wo ye oni ama yi no. Ono about nipa na wantua na yema no ho no wantua de omni so ontua ba omo hwe wa we no no beba wo so yeah it's a good point pa sa ho na
and ade ba ko am chipping is student loans ade bi a or some for sign the omdwi hu tutu makrofo because America had me nyamencha de said me can because I said wo mo system needs being on credit no wo kakra da say wo ho akyerewa yedim say obetumi akokota akaka kire judge say mintu ayefa nchew na emo manuanom student loan ye ka bi a se wo ko sign ma wo bi a wo fare bankruptcy chapter 7 no chapter 11 no chapter 7 no ye fa nchew even manokra nkosi simunem nipa kra wo sign ma no kra so wu a wa wo ye ko bora no kra no wo nipa na wu no student na wu but wa wo ti ase no you are responsible for the debt.
I say no a parent class no usually no. Anyway, yo bro em say you know ya baby ale ya mo akasa bebre you know say we are rater ya kan no ho asem ya ka bibia na say no be den say me pese me say me per advice bi pese me to dan me pese me we ya be den matimi aton kanti fa information man na fa yen fa to dwa na afi ana say wa fa to dwa na afi so no bibia bia ohia moa bi e wo Maryland Virginia DC nka ho right
there be now the license with DC
yes so Maryland Virginia there na ye nuanom ne ade bi omhia moa wo ho ompeso mo to dan bi ompeso start ni ade no se bi omuso betimi get in touch with you betimi ayewe
yes me phone number is 703 577 0872 703 577 0872 my phone number no my direct number my office hours Monday to 7 days a week between 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. and apart 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Bia offer me anytime bia was coming. Yes.
9 a.m. to 7 days a week. 9
Me pacho eno na this America na mra adwuma wa ha.
a.m.
Nti me register me business no.
Sana de share so.
Saa na ma register wa ban ni. And I
ABC,
open my
ABC.
website Google Alex Champon, Alex Adumakwe Champon. Google abehu. Office hours no nti America buy time am dey adwuma nti me nsesa ya wo me honor. Nti 7 days a week 9 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah, easy.
And I'm me email so Adumakwe Champon nka ho Alex Champon. Na dot Alex Champon dot S as MP as Paul at gmail.com. Enti
Pacho, obesa my BM kakra.
Alex Champon. Alex Champon.
Yensa hwe. Say my in beam, some information in beam, na say.
My number is 703 577 0872.
Yo.
And me email is here Alex Champon dot SPS like Sam P as a Paul at gmail.com.
Yo, me didn't have to chat box no na ubia.
Enti the maker chain you announce and yes if you tonko say me munua I'm one of you, and people who knows me can testify. You don't have to be self-taught that who fear him now you are having any problem in terms of payment. Now you feel say you have a problem, say potential. I said the bank is going to take from you. And I said, ABR, you want to negotiate with the bank to restructure your loan. Feel free from me. Now ABR, Nyamiada Roma, Womitrimno, a free consultation. Anything. Opposite. What you fear, BBR even refinancing, no. Yet menchefe, I don't charge anything. More lenders are make me reform mama. I will guide you through the refinancing. If it makes sense, if it doesn't make sense, but you can reassure say you are not going to pay anything. A free services are I'm the boy my client, any your community said because so in the immigrant community when you succeed, I succeed. Because many are known say abrabo koye mawa ekoye mame ye nyina ne ba obi krum nti ye ba ha se ye nyina ne ye beboa ye ho nti my doors are open to people at any time offer me any credit issue bia like we said nso advice bia na me de bema at no cost to you.
Yo menia that's it. Me try me the information as to chat box that's me dey 2 no so no yeah ka my tips kakra bi fa sellers who as say obi person oton a tips then with me aye be man dan na look creative kakra fine
Me that's it. So sellers are very important. So there's a 3 reasons that sells homes. In your mommy and any editor of you location, condition, price. And so if you're not to know when it comes to your location, you can never do anything about your location. But your fears in the one is your own autonomy, won't be moving. It's out of your control. But there are 2 things you as a homeowner you can do about it: price and condition. The first one that is very important is condition. So as an agent, and a lot of agents when you call me episode 2 fee, and as if you any good agent once you negotiate the terms with them and you agree, I make humble suggestions. I will walk through your house if you give an opportunity in and out with the eyes of a buyer's agent, because I do both. And I'm microphone. And I'll walk through the home with you, make note, and I'll make humble suggestions. So if there are certain things that need to be corrected. And so one of the reasons why I'm stressing on the condition is that a lot of time people have ideas. Oh, me told me fears I asked this. Because of the condition or the situation they find themselves now, they don't have the money to make the investment in the home. So I understand it. But there are other options. Because sometimes, if you are able to invest or change the condition of the home, polish it, by putting $5,000, $10,000, you end up making $20,000 extra. And so I always want to encourage you, say, if you are going to sell a home, and whether me or whoever is coming to you makes suggestions, say, let's try and change the conditioner. Try to cooperate with them, because if you don't change the conditions now, it can affect the value of your home, because the little money that you invest in it can change it. Typical example, years ago in 2020, I had a home that I listed. I did all the changes, but when the appraiser went to the home, I don't know and said during the process now, if you run it to crime, and for whatever reason, just a fridge, end up leaking water, and the fridge became a mess. The appraiser went there and gave a low value. So a buyer and catch appraiser and said, no, we are not going to accept this. I said, why? I said, no, this home worth more than that. And so the buyer also insisted. So we end up canceling the contract. And then the homeowner was in town. I took him. We hired contractors. I was there myself. We did extra cleaning. Now you can't believe that the same home, no, end up selling for $20,000 more than the original price.
That's right. That's right.
Because of if it is very, very, very important. Say, if you are going to sell your home, one, you try to change the condition. Two, you need to decloud the house. Say, yes, I offer, but do your best. Say, Ogaraja, and answer say, oh, small room be a unya, no may go on. Try your money be brand. Try to make the place lighter. Because if you want my son, I don't know, it is very important. Say, try to condense in your money. You don't have to bring a professional stager who is car. Fine, Mr. Sometime, no. If you have the money, yeah, we can bring in the decorators to come and decorate it. But in most homes now, the homes is already laid out. We take away few of the things from the places, and we make the place lighter. So that is the condition aspect of it. That I want to tell people, say, you always want to make sure, say, you know, you put the place in order. And price, I know, say, it's a big discussion, because every home on the piano, if they have a vision of how much their homes should worth. And so that one, I'm not going to go there.
Time no crowd continue.
We'll talk about it.
Later, that's be brain. Maybe also for the last time, but and then fine. But affirmation of the week, I deserve a beautiful home where I feel happy. I deserve a beautiful home where I feel happy. In Aka home. Talking of this, I deserve a beautiful home where I feel happy. And talking of Bibia, your brother, and you all catch. There are some things that with me are taking control. There are some things we can. So control the controllables. Like I said, to say my philosophy is different when it comes to the whole system, because the whole American system is different. You may have to say city, but there's another way to live. Another way to live. And it said, media Kaminia, if you go debt free, the piano, you can always control the controllable. And you might be all my own team control, but if we live debt free, and it's saying, number one, stay on a budget. Making sure that you assign every money that touches your hand a job to do. Zero budget. Sika bien free ho and kona yes I won't say onyama start changing. Every money that touches your hand, assign a budget to it. Hey, you go through life without a budget. Jesus can was one who could see Diana. Ufitia no could see one calculate. I'm off for crabs. If you ma, what better no room 5 years crown away, Jumana 10 years now, Juma crown out 50,000 a month. 10 years, saying 500,000. Send I will see we a budgeter will be to me a change it with life completely. Number two, make sure say what you are when you be a car a different Bible kind or say a car dear Bible nka say kai bone but bibie no kan fa fa kan ho aye papa as see you categorizing your good debt and bad debt or say debt e bia debt because one can't the papa bia fa debt ho enye bone de enye salvation issue en fa nko heaven de ba bibie no ka fa ho aye. Number 3 ye kan nyefro. Number 3 ye make sure say bibi da ye chi because ye twa ho kan na bibi na ye chi bibi si e be sa akoka mu bi at least 3 to 6 months of emergency fund and saying monthly expenses 3 to 6 months depending on your condition. You making sure to say you can na die here at the same time so see it to invest for your future. A be papa senki be we ya go a golden life a day 70 60 65 and 67 near retire near 2 year dan we. Na mum so yesa ka yesa kakra way for 1k into we emergency fund at least it is 15% of our income to emergency fund. So with the $100 crowd started from 20s, early 20s, now the $100 crowd every month invested to 401k with a rate of 10%. I also for the past 100 years, the stock exchange average 10%. You know, now we're 1 point something. It's over 1.8 million. We are 20. We are the more I will train on there more. Near we no, you will fear the best statistical career to come say baby to your winter. You need fears near perceive to fear near prepare. See a bit kakra to why bit in the akotoa near to be. Now you we are in the torso. We give generously. And not just say yes, our processing and you give. But at this point now, I will be to me here, Barbie, time be was sorry with him and watching out to me talk an idea man. Sansa making us away now when you feel as see a dino costra. A woman say this woman dear, but I won't found because what to tell you in a year. Into when now I bet high can in us, and to 2 year ya, there, ye try near Hushi. Ye try near Hushi. If you are affirmation, I'll say I deserve a beautiful home where I feel happy. Hey, we beat me at all by happy idiot to say the American. Yet, usually in Lucy Fee, no, name that pie friend, not dear, ye it goes to say a year, Jumani di Triano. It will mean she say near my ye. If she say near my year, a beboying, a car, a drying, Kruma, a car drying, and no, and I may be I will be I one. It's me to 2 year near my year. I know so one more catch and say a car in a Mikusku cry, mean student luna, just as I would win answer. I mean, sure, baby, Kruma, being normal means broke because we should normal people, no. From student loan all the way to mortgage loan. Mortgage loan, dear, you fancy and fair non touching by in Kunya loan, TV loan, BBR loan. But there's another way to live, whereby you take control of your own money. You see, one team can take control of Congress, one team take control of White House, but you can take control of your own money. Yes, I be I deserve a beautiful home where I feel happy, and then I will deserve. Bro, metro my beam. You 3 minutes per, and I say fancy 2 minutes. Na conclude my na me faka kraso so nyenko.
Yeah, nana, I'm sure that's it. Enti ni nyina ye ka ni nyina ne say enuanom said ye ka no. Obi bia na wo ho no na the American say esimu bia ne say obi bia no very important, and at the end of the day no the ye nyina hu hia, but the question now make me person mechanical sense is say if it all is not meant for any specific individual or biara, you had opportunity say obi to me aiden at all. Now statistics shows say we share the whole year so we need a juma papa bia we juma retirement abaimu and answer the state most average people that how many sika crowd that they'll be able to put in their 401k to retire on it. But statistics have proven say warmer in their retired age, they'll be able to pay for their homes and now they own a home. In America, they've introduced something friend reverse mortgage. Reverse mortgage, that means what your fear we are, and what when you need setting a jawuja not every month piano. Usika we will draw it. Then your family sell the home, the bank take the money, and then they keep the rest of the money to themselves. nti deɛ ɛka na yɛama nnipa nyinaa te aseɛ sɛ ɛnyɛ sɛ mete ha na bi a meyɛ real estate agent nti ɛna meka kyerɛ sɛ ɛfitɔ yɛ very important sɛ wankasa wobɛnya baabi atena na wafrɛ sɛ wo fie sɛdeɛ yɛwɔ ha no ma a yɛte ha nso yɛsi dan wɔ Ghana no ɛyɛ asɛm papa sɛ yɛyɛ but ɛho hia nso sɛ yɛn nso so no yɛbɛnya baabi atena because ekurom ha ɛna wokɔyɛ adwuma na waba fie sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a woso ba a wakoma ɛbɛtɔ wo yam na ma daakye bi nso no nkɔkora bom omere wa bom sɛ wobɛ retire ho sɛ wobɛ retire wɔ Ghana ho wotɔn wo fie na watumi anya sika a wode bɛdi w'akyi na sɛ nyame yɛ wadom na wɔ mma wɔ kurom ha wode bi agya wɔ mu na akɔkora anaasɛ aberewa wo so wode bi akɔ Ghana or wherever you are from no to live on it so that your golden age no just like Nana is saying now you'll be able to have something to lie on it because yesu bi bɛboa wo a ɛnyɛ sɛ waboa ho na yɛn nyinaa no God has given us the ability and America has created opportunity for you and I that they want you and I to succeed. And the last thing me di betwa to they say Nana made something say wo fie na offer say every year over say we make it 1 month payment extra instead of 12 months we make 13 now. In 23 years you finish paying for your home. And I said every year you are able to pay 2 months extra. In 16 years you finish paying for your home. And so 30 years loan that's only 15 now. Sometimes the people want to rush, they want to convert to 15. You don't have to do that. You can pay 2 months extra in a year. And by so doing, you get the same results, which is 16 years, you finish paying for your home. So that is one of the last thing and you may beja ye TF4 na say medawmasi na me shira wo mu na nanso so radio so mama me ho kwan say me ne enuanom emetwetwe nkomo na wo mu so entie ye ti na me shira obi a na afie omo ye ne ebusua ho ban de yarewa kwadanda de omo empae na bebi edi na besi ene de nsa be so bia no omanye enhyira mayen ewo yen Awurade Kristo Yesu dim mu amen.
Amen. Yo da wase bebre so abekan ho na ade de ma Nyankopon hye o ma bibia wo de ba bia na afuru mu bia no on hye o ma na esanya biem se be ya obetimi a chiche ne mo bebre ene de e twa time kakra but said de me ende no said de bia ye ka no say make sure say you spend wisely, you save intentionally, and you give generously. Give. And don't say the be amount for say make success no. The year when say part of success is giving. And yes, you can quite need to give it. They say they're afraid you are about to mama no will give you. Tino will be a bit me a shama a community no. And we are seeing now so I need to give in Libya. You know, it be see her next week. Same time, Sikasem program 7 to 9 p.m. Timbetieka. It's never commercial break. Manti and Kabima. Na your boy Patrick Berfi, Sikasem program, High Life Radio, and I would see any of the bro. Bro, Yamisha be brave.